Hi, it's Mike Langlois. In today's video blog, I'm actually going to show you and talk a little bit about a few iPhone games. And the reason I picked iPhone games for today's topic was because a lot of kids and adults that you may be seeing actually have iPhones or iPod Touches and may have some of these games already. Or they may find it really interesting and cool if you can show them a game or two that they may not have discovered yet. It's also good for us to be familiar with different games our patients may be playing, and the games that I've picked today to show you are ones that are not only favorites of mine, but are games that actually don't cost a lot of money, if any money. So they range from free to the most expensive one I'm going to show you is $2.99. So I want to start with a free one, and the free one that I've got is called Crosspatch. And this is Crosspatch, and you can see that it's a sorting game, sort of based similar to Set, the card game that many of you may have played already. And so the idea is to take these symbols and try to line them up. And you touch them and move them. So for example, if I'm doing this one here, I am trying to get all the stars lined up in the middle. And the goal is to have all of the different pieces work together in a larger system. It's a great game for kids and adults who enjoy sorting and organizing and ordering things. And you also can see that there's a time limit, so there's a certain amount of challenge in terms of the time. That is a free game, and you can download it at the iTunes App Store. The next one I wanted to show you is one called Samurai. And Samurai is a strategy game that you can hopefully hear has got some pretty interesting music to it. And it is similar in a lot of ways to Risk. You can see that you're dealing with an island, and the idea is that you want to move things, like moving that particular piece here, and then it's a turn-based game, so you get another one, and green, an opponent, will now pick one too. The object is to take all of these gray machines that you see and turn them whatever color the winner wants to be. So for example, yellow is trying to outsmart blue there and turned blue to yellow. So that is a game that is really good for either kids that like strategy or for kids or adult gamers who may be very interested in German-style games, which are these traditional hexagonal games. So if you think that you know one of those sorts of people, that might be a good game to recommend. Third game I wanted to show you is one that's much more playful and a little bit more random. And that one is called Peggle. See, this is Peggle, and the goal of the game is to take the gun that you see in the middle and you fire it, and you see that how the ball bounces and knocks out each one it hits. And the goal is to knock out all of the red ones, which you can see are lighting and then disappear after that turn. So this game is got a lot of color, got a lot of whimsy. It's great if you don't really want to play violent games or support violent games in the office. The other thing about this game in particular with adolescents is and children is it can be a great object lesson for how sometimes one thing you say or do can actually bounce all over the place and actually end up having a very different outcome than what you first thought when you did it. So that's a very good sort of object lesson that you have contained in Peggle. The fourth game I wanted to show you is called Angry Birds. And Angry Birds has been probably the top game for a long time on iPhone. It was recently beat out. A 14-year-old has just developed a new game that I haven't quite checked out yet, but it has upseated Angry Birds as most popular. But Angry Birds is a pretty long-standing favorite. So this is how you play. You see you got the birds, and the goal is that you want to get rid of all of these green pigs. And the way you do that is you have a slingshot. Let's see if I can do this in reverse. So you can see you take the slingshot and it crashes the wood, and hopefully you kill an actual bird. And the different birds have very different things that they can do with it. So this one, for example, is a boomerang bird and can do sort of boomerang things. And haven't gotten a pig yet for you, but this one hopefully will do that. This is a bird that actually, when it lands, as you can see, I just did it backwards. It's not very easy to do on this particular game, when you're trying to do it in reverse. But that, I think, should give you the idea. You can see the little boxes. Those are dynamite. I failed that level. I'm going to try it one more time, so hopefully I can show you something good. So you can see I'm actually going to try to shoot for down at the bottom. And I broke some stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to get this one. There you go. I got a pig. I wanted to get a pig for you before I moved on to the next game. So Angry Birds is a real simple game to play. It's very intuitive, and it does have a lot of strategy, but it's also a lot of fun. The images are really, really cute. The last one I wanted to show you, which is a new recent favorite of mine, is one that I think would appeal a lot to 10-year-old boys, because it's called Plants vs. Zombies. Just about everybody nowadays loves zombies. This is a game that you compete against the zombies that are marauding on your backyard, or in this case, they're on Mike's roof. And my goal is I need to pick some plants, and when I pick the plants, there are things that I can actually plant to stop the zombies. So you want to have, you can pick 7 or 8 different kinds, and it helps people figure out how to make choices. But you can see now, ready, set, plant. So I am going to plant a sunflower, and you'll notice, see that glowing thing that's coming down? Well, the goal is to actually grab those. Those are sunbeams. And when I grab those, can you hear the zombies are coming? So now that I've got enough sun, I can plant another flower. So I tap and I plant another flower. Now the goal is to get either things that are going to block them. So just now I planted a walnut, and the walnut blocks the zombies. So the goal is to make sure you keep the zombies from getting over to this end of the house where the chimney is, because if you get to the chimney, then they'll actually come down the chimney and eat your brains. The game is really fun. It's got a lot of great graphics to it. It's very colorful and entertaining, and if you have you know, a little bit of a dark sense of humor with zombies and zombies eating your brains, you'll get a big kick out of it. So that is today's video blog. Wanted to mention those games one more time. The first one's called Crosspatch Lite. It's the sorting game I showed you. The second one I showed you was Samurai, which is a turn-based risk-like strategy game. That's the German-style hexagonal game. The third game I showed you was Peggle, which was much more random, colorful, and a good object lesson about how our choices can sometimes take us in very different directions than where we first thought. Angry Birds, a very simple, very popular game that kids and the adults you work with will probably know about already, and I think you ought to know about it too. And last but not least, Plants vs. Zombies, which is my current favorite. It involves a lot of humor, a lot of strategy with which plants you grow and where you put them, and has lots of zombie mayhem, and who couldn't use more zombie mayhem in their life? So that's it for today. Thanks for listening to the video blog, and I will talk to you or write to you soon.